learners, I welcome you all again to the lecture series of Database Management System. Hope you are enjoying my lecture. In my last few lectures, I have given the basic introduction of Database Management System. And also, in my last lecture, I discussed with you about different data models. And we have also seen why relational model was adopted at last. In this lecture, we are going to see entity relationship model, or in short, it is called ER model. This ER model or ER diagram is nothing but the fast visual tool or graphical tool by which we can show the relational model. Because before implementation of our database, we must create a model where all the entities will be shown. What are entities? What are attributes? That will be also explained in this lecture. So all the entities means about which we want to keep information in the database. So how the entities will be shown, how the relationship among the entities will be shown, how different attributes of the entities will show, that will be all discussed in this lecture. So my dear learners, this is a very important and very basic lecture. So please don't miss it and stay tuned.
So what is entity relationship model? Now from today, we are actually going to the very basic visual or graphical tool of relational model. So in ER model or ER diagram, basically it is also called ER diagram. In ER diagram, we are actually showing three things. One is the entities, second one is the attribute of the entities, and third is the relationship among the entities. So ER model or ER diagram, it is a graphical tool where we are showing the entities, relationship of entities and entities attributes in order to create a database. Understood? Now this ER models will be ultimately, it will be translated to relations or tables. So you can understand this forms the basis of database design. Understood? Now, what is an entity? What is an entity? An entity can be anything, a person, a place, an event or object which is relevant to your system and about which I want to keep information in the database. Suppose whenever I am keeping information about the student, then student is an entity. Okay, so a school system may include, a college system may include student, teachers, major courses, subject, fees, these things, they will be called as entity. Because about students, about teacher, about courses, about subjects, about fees, I want to keep information in the database. But don't think that entities are only tangible. Entities can be sometimes tangible, sometimes intangible. Like student, teacher, classroom, they are actually existing. So they are tangible entities. But course, examination, assignments, they are called intangible entities because they don't have physical existence, but they have conceptual existence. Understood? So entities can be tangible or intangible. Now, what is then entity set? Because you will often come across this term entity set. It is a set that collectively represents a group of entities of similar type. Let's take an example. Suppose I have taken entity set of cars. Okay, you can see this entity set of car. The set is the car. Now entity 1 is one particular car model. Ridge car model is LD1, registration number, color of that car, number of seats. This is entity 1. Entity 2 is the second one, the Swift car, which is black in color, which model is VD1 and registration number is DL234, number of seats 5, like this. So entity set is basically the set of all these cars, and each record in that entity set will be called as individual entity. So the whole table in the tabular representation of data will be called as entity, and each row inside this table is an entity set, and each row will be called as an entity. And in ER diagram, entities will be represented by a rectangle, and it will be named using singular nouns. We will see in our future lectures. Don't worry at this moment how it will be represented. Just to understand what is entity and what is entity set. Next is, what is attribute? Attribute is nothing but the properties possessed by an entity. And each attribute, remember, it has a domain that specify a range of permitted values. Domain means range of permitted values. Okay? Like, suppose I am taking an savings account entity because I want to keep information about the savings account of my customers. So, savings account will have account number. It will be 10 characters in length. Account name, account balance, okay? These are attributes because these are the properties of that savings account. And domain means that following are the domains. 10 characters for the account number. Name should be characters, 30 should be the length. Balance, definitely it's an integer value, okay? Or float, it should be rather float. Okay, so in this way, we can find out the domain of the attribute. In your diagram, attribute will be represented by ellipses like this. Okay, so I will show you in your diagram how they will be represented. Then what is relationship? Because relationship, without relationship, all data items, if they are existing in the database in a singular manner, then there is no point of creating database, right? Because database contains related data. So how the relationship will be shown? Relationship are nothing but it is the glue that holds the tables together. Okay, they are the association or interaction between entities. So this relationship is shown by this diamond structure. Like Professor John is a professor entity having SSN. It is an attribute. He teaches is the name of the relationship, the database system course. That is also another entity. So Professor John is an entity. Database system course is another entity, and the relationship is teachers, and SSN is the attribute. Understood? So this is called the relationship. There can be 4 types of relationship: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. My dear learners, I don't want to discuss about these types of relationship in details in this particular lecture, otherwise it will be a long lecture. So in my future lectures, very soon we will discuss about this relationship types, means one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. So with this, I am concluding my lecture. Thank you for your joining and hope you have enjoyed my lecture. Stay tuned.